Hello, everybody, and welcome to this extremely hot episode of Honor Thy Podcast. This is a weekly DCTV Arrowverse podcast where we discuss everything Arrowverse. I am your host, Declan McKinney. You may know me as the host of DC Central, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Dan McCance, otherwise known as Mule Kick Media.
I'm here before the weather melts me away.
Yeah, very, very hot in England at the moment. Some might call it a heat wave. I like to call it summer. This is extremely, extremely hot. I'm stuck in this room without a fan on, because if I have the fan on, it will completely mess up the audio.
I've got two fans on my PC and an actual fan.
But anyway, we will prevail through the heat because we have Comic-Con news to talk about.
And a lot of it as well, because like the amount of stuff... they dropped more stuff here than I thought we'd honestly get, to be honest. I thought they were going to say nothing.
Yeah, we got a lot of news, and also we got, of course, all the new trailers for the new seasons as well. That goes for Supergirl Season 5, The Flash Season 6, and Arrow Season 8. No Legends, because Legends is only really just started filming, so they were kind of taking this Comic-Con off. We did get a Legend making an appearance, but we'll get to that. And also, there were other panels as well, like Black Lightning had a panel.
And they had a trailer that showed fuck all.
Yeah, and Batwoman also had a panel, which I've actually not seen. So,
no.
Because I don't care.
Because we saw the, like, what was it? Did they release like a promo and that was it? Like they didn't actually show an actual trailer.
No, there wasn't an actual trailer.
No, like it was literally just a promo, and then they showed off the pilot, didn't they, to everyone?
Yeah. And although to be fair, they did release the first official trailer like not long ago. To be fair.
Yeah, that amazing trailer.
Yeah. So anyway, how do you want to start? Do you want to talk about the trailers first and then go into the news?
Yeah, I'd say trailers then news.
Because the trailers, there isn't really that much to talk about, really. So, start off with Supergirl. The trailer pretty much kind of demonstrates the theme of the season, which we'll talk about this more in the news. But the theme of this season is sort of technology.
Yeah.
And how technology, how we're all kind of obsessed with it and how we're all kind of, surrounded by it and drawn in by it.
Yeah.
So again, Supergirl is kind of focusing on not a social issue per se, but just a thing that's very relevant, which obviously they like to do. Hopefully this will be handled a bit better than the first half of last season.
Than politics.
Yeah, hopefully this will be handled better than it was last season. Like I say, even though I think season 4 of Supergirl is good overall, I wouldn't say great overall, but good overall. That first half of the season, the writing there was yikes. So hopefully with this trailer, I got a better vibe from this one. I got a better feeling from this.
Yeah, it was a much better trailer. I mean, I remember me and you were like hating on last year's trailer because it showed nothing.
Well, they didn't show anything.
No, literally, they had like a voiceover by Agent Liberty, a shot of Agent Liberty, and then
there was a shot of Alex. I remember.
And then a shot of Melissa Benoist's stunt double in the Power Ranger suit.
Yeah.
That was it. So at least here they showed a lot more. And like I say, what they did show was very intriguing. Like there's like I think the ones that stood out to me, like you say, was like how they made the use of technology and how we're all like obsessed by it. How that is such a big thing of it. And then like you had the bit where Kara has that talking to someone. I think it's Lena, is it? Is it Lena that she's having the conversation to? And then she walks away and like Kara's just like really like emotionally messed up because of it. And then you got the bit where Supergirl's with Lena in public and she just full on like bitch slaps her.
Decks her in the face.
Yep, like that progressed from a full on bitch slap to an actual punch.
Yeah. Clearly Lena is not in a good place by the time season 5 rolls around. It seems like Lena has some very funky looking eyes in the trailer as well. It seems like perhaps she's got some technologically advanced eyeballs.
She's been taking them same drugs as James.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got some very exciting James news.
Some very emotional James news as well.
Yeah, but I think the trailer overall did a good job of, like I say, portraying the theme of the season. We don't know, like the trailer doesn't give you much to go off of outside of that, really, and also maybe that Lena is kind of on the edge. But yeah, I thought it was a decent trailer overall. Again, it doesn't give you too much to go off of, but I am excited about the season. I'm just hoping it can keep the momentum from the back half.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. It didn't really amaze me, but I'm happy that at least they were able to kind of establish the seeds of what the season will hopefully be about. Whether it'll actually be any good remains to be seen, but we will wait and see.
Yeah, Supergirl, you really don't know. it really could go either way.
Yeah, it's like with Supergirl, it's either they'll get it really, really right, like they did with episode 3 of last season, or completely fuck it up like they did with every other episode for the first half of the season.
Yeah. So we will wait and see. Now, the trailer for The Flash Season 6, this actually really surprised me, actually.
This was probably the best one for me.
It's my favourite trailer of the three. I was surprised because this trailer takes a very different direction than what I was expecting. I was expecting like a typical trailer like we got like last season where, it's all told from the hero's perspective and we get to see a story, maybe a quick look at the villain, things like that. But this was all told from the villain's perspective. And I really like that.
Yeah, someone's clearly been watching Infinity War too many times. Made me like, oh yeah, let's do this for the trailer. No, I thought it was really good. Like I say, the whole narration they had by the villain over it just really worked. Just because it's something different, but it also just set this really like, kind of like very intense and darker tone over the entire thing, which I really, really like. And just from the small sneak peek we've had of the villain, I think he looks really cool. Like he really, really seems like someone that, a lot. Even though we can't really say the actor's name properly without butchering it, so we're not going to attempt it here. But no, he was really good in that trailer. And the stuff that they showed off, like I was really surprised by how much of it was new. It kind of felt like the Arrow trailer of last year's Comic-Con, where Arrow's was like entirely new footage. This was, I wouldn't say entirely new because I think there were some reused shots.
There are a few season 4 shots.
But I'd be willing to say that like over half of this was new footage.
Yeah.
Which was I was really surprised by. Like I thought that was really good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this trailer. I just think it had a really good vibe of it. Like I think it was dark, it was gritty, and again, it kind of really portrayed this villain in a good light. Like in terms of first impressions, I think they knocked it out of the park with this villain. And this villain is of course Bloodwork. We'll talk about him in a bit. But I was just so impressed, just with the entire just look of him and how kind of dangerous he seems. And obviously we'll talk more about him in a bit, but he just seems so awesome from this trailer and just left such an impact, and especially because he's got a very distinctive voice as well, which I think helps.
Yeah, and the thing is that surprised me with him as well is that when they originally announced him, I kind of just looked at him and saw him as a villain where he was just, oh yeah, he'll probably be like a 1-episode villain, because just based off the concept wise, I was like, I don't know how this is going to work, but like you say, the way that they used him in the trailer and the presence and that he gives off definitely makes me think that he'll be a tangible enough threat for the first half of the season, which we'll talk more about later. But no, just like in general from what they showed off, and in terms of setting first impressions, he's awesome, and I just really like this trailer again because of the stuff that they showed off, and just the trailer itself was really good. I'd probably say it's the best Flash trailer we've had at Comic-Con for quite a while, easily.
Yeah, it's been definitely kind of some rough trailers, but this one was really good. I was very, very impressed. I'm actually feeling quite optimistic about season 6. But again,
new
we'll
showrunner, new showrunner, all our problems will go away.
I have to say as well, I mean, obviously we're not talking about the panel just yet, but Eric Wallace, who is the new showrunner, was on the panel. I really like him. He, I don't know, have you seen the panels?
I have only seen the Arrow one. I've not seen any of the other panels.
Well, I've seen all 3 of these panels, and like, I really like Eric Wallace. He seems like he's very passionate. He's clearly a comics guy. The way he's talking about it, he knows his stuff. He knows what he's on about. And I really like him. He seems very, very passionate. He seems very excited. I mean, that's the vibe I've gotten from the Flash in general. And the reason why I'm optimistic about season 6 is because the entire cast seems so optimistic about it. Like they seem genuinely excited about this season, which is always a good thing. And I feel like, with them, they must have good stuff going on if, the cast and the crew are extremely excited about it. So that's good for me. Now, the Arrow trailer. Now, this one's interesting because it's if I'm looking at it critically, I'd probably say this is the worst trailer of the 3.
But because you're an absolute fanboy and you are the kind of person that puts enjoyment over quality, you will say it's the best.
Yes. Well, no.
Yeah, you just said yes and then no. Man.
I mean, obviously, this trailer was so special just because it was a perfect little recap and summary of all 7 seasons leading up to season 8. But obviously, we're not going to talk about any of that. We'll talk about the about 20 seconds of new footage we got at the end. And to be honest, I don't care about any of it because Adrian was in it, and that's all I cared about. Now, I believe the theory's going around. I also said this in my video. Adrian has got to be a Green Arrow on another Earth.
Yep, has to be.
And that is amazing. I just love it. Like I love just like hearing his. I remember when I watched the trailer because I saw like the bootleg version before the panel came out.
Yeah, because it leaked like an hour beforehand, didn't it? And I remember. I remember what was it? Did I tell you about it, or did you tell me?
I told you.
Yeah.
Because I saw it on Twitter, and I was like, I wasn't gonna watch it because I was like, no, I'll wait for the HD version. But I was like, no, I can't help myself, and I just watched it, and I was just like, it was like in like 420p, and I was like, just still crying anyway. But just just hearing Adrian's voice, and then seeing Josh, and oh my god, it just filled my heart with joy. Just seeing him, and again, just seeming like he's going to be a Green Arrow from the multiverse, teaming up with Oliver. Like I love the line, you spent 5 years on an island, you come back a vigilante, seems a little far-fetched. Great line. A very Adrian line. I like that even though this is a different version of Adrian, I like that they're keeping his personality.
Yeah.
Because that's what made him such an entertaining villain. Oh my god. Just more Adrian. Just give me Adrian.
I'm just so hyped, man. I can't wait for it, man.
Like, the one thing Arrow needed to do this season to get me a new hype beyond all belief was announce Josh Segarra was coming back, and that's what they've done.
Like, and I'm more surprised that they actually showed him off. Like, I thought him and Commandant would be like, I thought that they would probably just hold them off and then not show them until the episode aired. But the fact that they've shown them already, I'm just so hyped as well. And hopefully it makes me think that maybe we might be seeing him again. Fingers crossed, because I'd love.
I mean, it seems like based on this trailer, he has like an important role.
Yeah.
Like, and like we do see Tommy in the trailer as well. What appears to be on Earth 1.
Nah, it's not Earth 1. It has to be another Earth, because there's no way.
No, I'm not saying it's Earth 1 Tommy. I'm saying that version is on Earth 1. Because, I mean, it might just be the way the trailer's cut together, but it looks like Renee is holding a gun to him.
Yeah, but how many times before have we been deceived by trailers like this?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. It might just be cut
else.
together that way, but the way it looks in the trailer, it looks like he's on Earth 1. And again, I'm not saying it is Earth 1 Tommy. It's just whatever version of Tommy this is on Earth 1.
Yeah. Which
could be interesting, but because he looks very much like Tommy we saw last season, where he had the beard and everything, which makes no sense, but whatever.
But in the afterlife, you could still grow a beard.
Apparently so. That's Tommy's metahuman power. But anyway, cool trailer. Again, it was the weakest of the three. It doesn't really show much at all.
But it had Adrian, so who cares?
Yeah, it had Adrian, so.
No. Also, can we talk about it showed off the Laurel's new suit?
Oh yes, it did. Yes, we got to see Laurel's new suit, which looks badass.
I love it. It's kind of got the Injustice 2 vibes.
Yeah.
From that, I just love it. I'm just happy that they.
It's honestly comic book Black Canary.
Yeah, I find
giving it the short hair as well, which is awesome.
I find it so funny that they've like given Oliver, Diggle, and Laurel all these suit upgrades, and they've only got 10 episodes. It's like, where has the budget for this season gone? Is it just gone into the costumes?
Yeah, they've cut down on 12 episodes, and they just put the budget onto the costumes. Did you know Diggle's costume is literally exactly the same, but instead of red, it's green?
Yeah.
Are they just doing that to troll people?
Yeah, like, it's a green. Guys, looks a bit more like Green Lantern, guys.
I mean, I still feel like there's a chance he could be in Crisis, but
I'd love to think so, but I don't know. I mean,
I don't know. I just have a feeling if Earth 90 Flash comes back, I think we might see him.
Yeah. Well, let's put it this way: we ain't going to be seeing the fucking Green Lantern movie anytime soon, so they might as well just give it as on TV.
Exactly. He only has to be in this one crossover, and we never have to see him again.
Yeah.
Because David Ramsey will have moved on, and it'll be fine. Right. So that was the Arrow one. So let's move over to the panel. So moving back over to Supergirl, the panel here. So I've got all the notes of all the things that was basically announced and spoken about. What was really cool about this panel is that John Cryer actually moderated it. John Cryer is, of course, the guy who played Lex Luthor last season, and that was really fun, actually, having him there, because he obviously has such a good rapport with all the cast members and things like that. He was basically just messing around with them. Like him and Katie McGrath in particular were very funny. So it was great having him there. But what Robert Rovner, who is, of course, the showrunner, spoken about, he said that one of the big bads, keep that in mind, one of the big bads is Leviathan. Now, we kind of knew that last season anyway. That was one of the season 4 stingers at the end. I don't still quite understand what version of Leviathan this is going to be.
Is it a person or is it a thing? Is it
or is it a group? Because there is a group called Leviathan in the comics, and that's like a what you call it, what are the things called, Legion of Superiors. So again, we don't know to what version of Leviathan this is going to be, but they are going to be there, and they're the ones who are going to be related to this technology side of the story.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. But there's not really much to say there. Just because we don't really know what's going on. We've literally seen that old woman talking to Eve about it, and that's it. Although I will say the way John Cryer introduced Eve, by the way, was great. He literally just shouted "Miss Tessmacher" as she came out on stage. She's also the actress who plays Eve has actually been upgraded to a series regular as well.
Yeah, I saw that as well. Very odd news.
Yeah, but, fair play to her. I didn't expect that because obviously when you see Eve in the first season, you're like, oh, she's just like a nothing character. And even the actress said that on the panel. She was like, I thought I was just gonna be this comic relief who was never gonna be in the show, and now she's like basically a borderline villain. And then the next part was all about them talking about technology, which we've already spoken about. Now, sad news here. Very, very sad news. Mehcad Brooks is leaving the show.
R.I.P. James Olsen's eye patch.
We better get that in the premiere.
I want to buy that eye patch when they auction it off. I'm going to buy it.
But this is sad. I have to say, it was very sad on the panel. I did actually start crying on the panel.
Did he actually?
Yeah, he did. He actually broke down and started crying. And because I genuinely believe he loved being on the show and he loves all the cast members, and they all came over and gave him a massive hug, which was really sweet. Even I teared up a bit watching it.
Yeah.
Especially because James, he has been a part of the show since day one. He has been in from the very beginning. Although I've felt bad for Mehcad Brooks all these years, just being treated so poorly on the show because of the writing, and just the writers not having a clue what to do with James as a character. I am going to be sad to see him go, but I'm happy for Mehcad Brooks because I think he's above this. I think he is a very talented actor. I am very excited to see where he goes next because, like I say, I feel like he could do so much better than this in regards to screen time.
Well, apparently what they've said is apparently the reason he's leaving is because he wants to pursue a career in directing as well.
Oh, fair dues.
So that's why he's leaving apparently. So yeah, I will miss him because Mehcad Brooks is a very good actor, and I like you say, I just feel very sorry for him that with the awful writing of James on this show, he's been kind of weighted down by the awfulness of the show's writing. When I think he's just so much better than what he's given, and it's just a shame because James Olsen, quite a big character in the Superman comics, just done dirty on Supergirl.
Yeah. But it was nice seeing him talk about it because he was saying, in regards to that, he was saying, they took a chance on me, to cast someone who doesn't even look remotely like Jimmy Olsen. And he was saying, he never had a superhero who looked like him. So to be able to bring that to screen was really important for him. So, I am sad about it, but like I say, I'm very happy for him to kind of pursue other things and hopefully get better work than what he got on Supergirl, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Now, they also did confirm that John Cryer will be returning as Lex in Crisis. I don't think there's any news on him actually returning in season 5 in general. I'm sure he will.
He has to.
Yeah, especially with the way the story's going. I think he has to, but he's definitely returning for Crisis at least. So there that is. But we kind of assumed that in the finale anyway when the Monitor revived him. So yeah, that's going on. Now we did get a couple of new casting as well. First off, we have Julie Gonzalo, who's going to be playing Andrea Rojas, aka Akrata, who's like a... She seems to be like a new vigilante type character. So kind of like, I guess, what Dreamer was last season. I don't know to what extent she's going to be in the show, or what if she's going to be more of an antagonist or a protagonist. For Kara. We're gonna have to wait and see how she kind of fits in and what kind of dynamic she's going to have. But that is that one. There's also Stars Nair, who's going to be playing William Day, who is going to be working at Catco alongside Kara. He's being described as a foil for Kara. People are predicting this could be a new love interest. I don't know how I feel about that.
No, season 4 did fine with no love interest. I really don't need another one. Plus, imagine how much toxicity there'd be online because all the Caramel fans would be like, "You can't be having another relationship." Oh, no, fuck, no, just don't do it. Just don't risk it.
Yeah, I'd rather them focus on the actual Catco storyline because they actually did focus on that a bit more last season. And I really liked that.
Yeah.
Because I like that side of the show. And also, probably the coolest casting is we're actually getting a female Brainiac 5 in the show, who's going to be played by Megan Rath, who is actually Jesse Rath's real life sister.
Yeah. Who was also on Banshee.
In Banshee, yeah. Yeah, also in Banshee. So that's really cool that she's coming to the show. I love her. Like I say, from Banshee, she's awesome. So to bring her over to this is going to be cool. And playing the fact it's Jesse's real life sister is a cool little dynamic. And they have worked together in the past. I believe they were both on Being Human, I think. Or I might be wrong there, but they were on a show together.
Might have been, yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool. And then we also got a couple of new directors as well. Like, it's actually been confirmed now. Melissa Benoist is going to be directing episode 18. I believe we mentioned this last week.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Obviously, she was very inspired by David Harewood, and David Harewood is also returning to direct episode 11 of the season. So we got 2 cast members directing the next season, which is fun. It's always good when they get that. And they were saying that David's episode was like one of the most fun ones they've ever filmed. So hopefully Melissa can be inspired by that. And then the final news, which I was really shocked by this, but I'm also really happy about this. Jeremy Jordan is officially returning. Now, what we've got to remember is they said this last year.
And it never happened.
And it never happened, so we have to remember.
In fact, last year they said Wynn was coming back for multiple episodes. They said
a recurring role in the back half. And that obviously never happened because I think Jeremy Jordan went to Broadway. But he's apparently coming back this season at some point. So that's going to be cool. I mean, I love Wynn. I did miss him last season. So I'm excited to have him back.
Yeah, no news on Monel again. Get in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be honest, I have a feeling we might see Monel. So
in the 100th episode, yeah.
Because obviously they are going to be having the 100th episode this season, so I think we might see. Yeah, I think we might see characters like Monel. Maybe that's when Wynn comes back as well. Who knows? I think it's possible Monel might return for that. Yeah,
unless Chris Wood's actually got a brain in which he'll realise, that this show's shit. Just don't bother coming back.
Anyway, that's everything for Supergirl. So we learned quite a bit there.
Yeah.
Again, not really much to go off of, but they give us little teasers and little ideas of what we could expect from season 5, and it sounded pretty good so far. And again, I'm just hoping they can keep the momentum from a writing standpoint to actually keep the show engaging.
Yeah.
Now, moving over to The Flash, we got a lot of news for The Flash. So kicking off, obviously we've already spoken about him, but Sendhil Ramamurthy has been cast as Dr. Ramsey Rosso, aka Bloodwork, who is going to be the big bad for the first half of the season.
Yeah!
I'll come back to that.
Okay!
So he's a doctor at the Central City morgue, and he is going to be, like I say, a very ruthless sounding character and the main big bad for the first half of the season. He's a previous confidant of Caitlin Snow, and he also is going to have a very close relationship with Barry. Now, what's interesting is they've said that this villain is actually heavily tied into Crisis, and his story and Barry's story leading into Crisis is intertwined. Ooh. So this links into another piece of news we got, which is that the Monitor is actually in episode 1 of The Flash. And what the Monitor is going to tell Barry is that he needs to sacrifice himself in order to, save the world from the Crisis. And what seems to be happening is, what people are theorizing, is that Barry and Dr. Ramsey Rosso are going to be working together to try and basically bring Barry back afterwards. Because obviously Dr. Ramsey Rosso is all about saving lives and trying to bring people back and things like that. And I feel like that's kind of where they're going to be working and things like that. But that's going to take a turn for the worst, and Ramsey Rosso is going to obviously turn evil.
Yeah.
That sounds really cool to me.
Very cool.
I don't know about you, but that sounds really cool.
Oh, yeah. I'm just... Like I say, my hype level for this season is just really high compared to the other ones. So
yeah,
but no, just off that, if that is going to be the case as to how him and Barry are linked, and also the fact that he's got a link to Caitlin, which hopefully could maybe mean we'll get a good story with her this season. Maybe, fingers crossed.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, we've got some news on Caitlin later on.
But yeah, pretty cool premise. And if that is the case, then yeah, really, really excited for it.
Yeah. And like I say, I think this villain just looks excellent so far. So that's really cool. So like I say, he is the big bad for the first half of the season. And this is the news that has excited me the most about this. Eric Wallace, the showrunner, has described this season as being 2 graphic novels. We are going to have the first half of the season, which is pre-Crisis, which is going to be its own separate, self-contained story, which is the story of Barry, Team Flash, and Bloodwork. And then after Crisis, we're going to have a second graphic novel, which is its own separate, complete, contained story, which is going to have another big bad, which we don't know who that is yet. I am in love with this idea. We've been saying this for so long, not only about The Flash, all the DCTV shows, that you need to split these stories up. Last season was the prime example of that, with Cicada's storyline being stretched out for far too long. This is perfect. I'm so happy to hear this.
Yeah, I'm really happy with this because it's the exact thing that the Flash has needed really badly. Even with season 4 with DeVoe, the way they tried to extend his character by having him body hop was just pathetic. So I'm just happy that they're actually starting to kind of embrace this, I'd say, graphic novel style approach to seasons that, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has done for ages and has done really, really well. Like, I have caught up with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and it's later seasons where they've actually done this, where it's like they have a story for the first half of the season, a story for the back half. It works so well, and if the Flash can kind of transfer that and just put it over to here, I think it can work wonders. Just because, like you say, you don't have this problem of having to stretch them out for such a ridiculously long episode span. It's just so much more simpler, and I just hope the show will be able to use it to its benefit, because it's just been such a crutch for it over the years, like you say, especially with last season and in season 4 as well. Like, it was just a pain in the backside because it was so obvious that they had these villains that they just didn't know how to write 22 or 23 episodes for.
Yeah, this just fills me with joy, and again, like, because I just know now that means that Bloodwork as a character is going to have that nice arc for about 9-10 episodes, and I really like, and it makes sense. You do it up until the mid-season finale, then you close off that storyline, and you have like a little cliffhanger for the next one, and then we have Crisis, we have the break, and then we go back in the new season, or the new second half of the season, with a completely new story. I think that's brilliant. I think that works so well. And obviously you'll have all the side stories which will carry on. But as far as the main plot goes with the main villain of the season, it's going to be split up, and I love that. I think it's brilliant. And I'm very excited to see how that eventually turns out.
Mm-hmm.
And officially confirmed, Cisco is returning for the season. This is...
to no one's surprise.
Really. Yeah, I mean, I am kind of relieved in a way, because I'm very happy to hear that he is sticking around. They didn't really bring it up. He was just kind of there, and they didn't really mention it, so everyone was just like, okay, he's still sticking around then. Interestingly, there has been some set photos yesterday
in a
of him in his
costume,
vibe suit.
which is really weird. Like, has he got his powers? Like, it doesn't make sense. What the fuck's going on?
Based on the panel, he said he hasn't got his powers, and he says that he's very happy, and he said he's settling in swimmingly, was the exact quote, with his powers and, with Camilla and all that. And he said that Cisco will be going back to a season 1-esque role, where he's, the quarterbacker, the guy who is, the guy in the chair, essentially, as he was in season 1. He's not going to be out in the field. But yeah, those set photos are weird, but we'll have to wait and see what the context of that is. That's always the problem with these set photos. We never know the context. But yeah, good news, though, is that Cisco is back. He's sticking around for the entire season, unless he dies, and that's really cool. I'm happy to have him back.
Yeah.
Now, Iris, again, they told us this before, but Iris is really going to be delving into the
journalism skills. Nah, it's not happening, bro. It's not happening.
Well,
we've been promised this for far too long, and we still ain't got it. It's not happening. Let's just accept it.
Well, Candice Patton was talking on the panel. You can tell that she was having slight digs at Todd Helbing on the panel, because she was like, I've been saying this for ages and ages, and now it's finally being done. But Eric Wallace was talking about it as well, and they've said that they have actually, Iris has her own office now, which we saw last season, next door to Ralph, and she's going to be getting a load of new employees this season, and there's going to be plenty of scenes in the office. She said they've already filmed quite a lot of scenes in the office, so it seems like that this new office is going to be a new location for the characters to hang out at, so we're not just stuck at Star Labs all the time, which is nice. And again, if they actually commit to this storyline, then that would be fantastic, because Candice Patton is so passionate about this, and she's such a good actress, and she's just been let down by the show season after season. To actually finally give her this, to allow her to become the comic book Iris that she really wants to be, this could be great if they actually just commit to it. And I really feel like with this new showrunner coming in, they are actually going to do it this season, and I really hope they do.
Finally. They'll actually bother to do it. That's the thing, though. It's I've just got past the point now where it's do I really trust them anymore? But I want to, because it's the new showrunner, but I just don't know.
I think with the new showrunner, we have just cause. I think.
Maybe.
Now, we are going to be getting a new Wells this season.
Okay, for fuck's sake.
I mean, I don't know how they're getting away with this. It's so weird when you think about it. Every season, just a new Wells shows up. It's so weird. Now, this new Wells is being described as sensual, which is a bit of a joke out of the panel. If you've seen it, you'll know what I mean. And he's also being described as adventurous and swashbuckling. I wonder if he's going to be borrowing an eye patch from James. Now, obviously we can't really talk about the new Wells just because we don't really know anything about him. That's all they've said. He's very sensual. That's what they keep saying. He's sensual. So does that mean is this a nice Wells? Is this like a really, really nice Wells?
Like,
because we've never really had like a proper nice Wells. Well, we had HR, but
yeah, but HR was more of a shit jokester. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know what exactly this all means, but yeah, new Wells is coming, which is always a nice little confirmation. Now also that's not the only role Tom Cavanaugh is going to be playing this season.
He's going to be back with the Reverse Flash.
Well, not just that. He's not only is he going to be playing the new Wells, not only is he playing Reverse Flash, but he's also going to be playing the role of Pariah. Now,
what?
Pariah... Did you not know about this?
No.
So, he's going to be playing the role of Pariah. Now, do you know who Pariah is?
No.
Pariah is a big character in Crisis. He is essentially a subservient of the Anti-Monitor. So, Tom Cavanaugh is going to be playing this role, which is going to be incredibly important to Crisis. This character is going to show up in the season before Crisis. Apparently, there is a reason why he looks like Tom Cavanaugh, which I was worried. I was worried about. I was like, unless this version of Pariah is like some Wells from another Earth. But apparently, there is a reason as to why he's going to look like a Wells and look like Reverse Flash and what have you. So they're going to explain that. But yeah, Tom Cavanaugh is going to be playing the role of Pariah. So it's a pretty big role in regards to Crisis. And working with the villain of the Anti-Monitor, so yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, but so they didn't confirm if he's back as Reverse Flash.
No, they did. They said he's gonna... Basically, they talk about how the Reverse Flash is essentially in the wind now. Obviously, we know we're going to see him in Crisis, so even if he doesn't show up in the season, he will be in Crisis.
Okay.
But I'm sure we might see him pop up at some point.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tom Cavanaugh is going to be pretty busy this season.
Very, very busy man.
But he can pull it off because he's awesome.
Yeah, well, Tom Cavanaugh is just like...
Tom Cavanaugh is honestly the best actor on the show, so...
Tom Cavanaugh could be my grandma for the day, and I would still buy it because he's that good.
Exactly. And also we're going to be getting more Killer Frost this season. Basically, what they kind of meant by that is that Killer Frost is going to be like basically interacting in Star Labs as Killer Frost.
Oh.
And not as Caitlin, so it seems like she's actually becoming a bit more of a functional team member rather than just like this weird alter ego. That could be interesting. We'll have to wait and see how much they actually use it and how much of a role she actually has. Because I don't know how much of a character she can really be. But we'll have to see. It could be interesting. It could be awful. We honestly don't know. With the Flash, it can go either way. And then Ralph is going to be obviously working along more with his detective cases. Obviously, he's going to be meeting Sue Dibney, or Sue Dearborn, who's going to be Sue Dibney, which I'm excited about that storyline. It seems like they're actually going to be really giving Ralph some stuff this year. Not only with that, but they also said that we're going to be meeting Ralph's family in this season, and actually discovering, how he became the way he is.
Mm.
So I'm happy about that.
Yeah, because I love Ralph, and he needs more stories.
He needs more story. I love Ralph. He was fantastic last
year,
season.
even though they gave him fuck all.
Yeah, he was a great, they really fixed his character in the very early part of the season and then gave him to do, due to, I blame Sherlock, honestly. But I'm very happy about this. Very, very happy. I love Hartley Sawyer. I love Ralph, so I'm very happy about that. They're also going for a darker tone this season, which at first scared me because I thought, okay, the last time they did that didn't go so well.
Nope.
But in retrospect, season 2 was actually quite dark, and I feel like if they kept it like that and still kept, because season 2 was dark, but it still kept the fun and the tone. Mm-hmm. If they take it down that route, I think this could work quite well, especially in this first half of the season with this villain of Bloodwork, who seems to be a very dark, very quite scary villain. I think you need that darker tone, especially with the impending crisis. I think that tone is required.
Oh yeah,
and I'm down for this. I'm honestly, I'm okay with this darker tone. So, like I say, if they stick to that season 2 tone, I think that's kind of the middle ground you want to hit there. So that's cool. And my favorite news as well, I love this, outside of the graphic novel idea, Wally is returning. Now, just like Win, they said this last year. They said Wally would be returning for 3 episodes in season 5. He only returned for 1. Now, they said he's going to be returning for 2 episodes, where Kid Flash and the Flash are going to be teaming up to defeat one of the Flash's greatest enemies.
Ooh.
I don't know what that means. They didn't give anything beyond that.
Nah, man's just trying to give me a hard on with villain teasers. I'm excited. I'm excited for that though. Like Wally coming back is
Wally's
super
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, like again, this was something that they said last season. Oh, he's going to make multiple appearances, and he was only in one episode. So, I don't know. Like I say, it's the case of wanting to believe it, but being let down in the past. But the fact that we've got a different showrunner, this is basically me with Arrow season 7 all over again. Like where it's like I want to believe it, but I don't want to because of past things. But this is a different showrunner. I don't know. Interests me. When are they going to follow up through with it? I have absolutely no clue. I'd love to see Wally again, but I don't know.
And also, where in the season is he going to show up?
Yeah.
Like, is he going to be in Crisis? Like, I feel like it's appropriate to have him in Crisis. But then the idea of him having this little 2-story arc with defeating this big villain, like, that makes me think it might not be Crisis. Also, it depends on, obviously, when it's filmed. Because, obviously, I know Keenan Lonsdale, I'm pretty sure he's been cast in the Love, Simon TV series. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure he has, but I might be wrong there. So depending on, because obviously he was in the Love, Simon movie, there's a Love, Simon TV series called Plus. So I believe he was cast in that, but again, I could be wrong. So depending on when it's filming, again, would kind of give us a hint as to where he might be showing up. But either way, I'm happy. I'm glad we have him back. Yeah. So now, finally, the Arrow panel. Now, the Arrow panel was very emotional. It was just Stephen Amell crying for half an hour, which, of course, makes me cry. I was actually in tears watching this panel. It was so special. Now, this panel wasn't like most panels. It was a lot more focused on, sort of the memories of Arrow and the cast kind of retelling their memories and how important the show is and how great it was working with Stephen and, how influential Stephen was and how influential the show was overall. But we did get a bit of news from it. First off, though, I would like to mention how great Stephen was in this panel.
We just watched him try not to cry.
Yeah, and even at one point, he did obviously essentially break down. But my God, I mean, I was crying. I mean, if Stephen Amell's crying, I'm crying.
Yeah.
Especially, a moment I loved as well was when, the girl Sarah, who came up and he gave her the Green Arrow costume. The girl who he always sees every Comic-Con. That was really lovely. And yeah, just seeing how everyone was just looking up to him, and everyone was just like, so appreciative of what he's done and the work he puts in. It does make me very, very emotional about, the show ending and things like that.
I bet you're crying right now, aren't you?
Basically, yeah. I'm pretending all the sweat falling off my face is hiding my tears. But anyway, going over to the news, again, there wasn't much. But they did say that Arrow has a happy ending. Stephen promised it is a happy ending. Which does kind of confirm that maybe, after dead. Crisis, that he's not dead and he is going to go to that heavenly place from the Crisis comics. Which I think obviously a lot of us predicted that anyway, based on the flash forward and the ending of season 7. So yeah, that's good.
No. If it's a happy ending, then they'll turn around and say that all the flash forwards were fake, and I'll just be like, thank you.
Wait, you cut out then? What'd you say?
Just the happy ending being that all the flash forwards were fake.
A fake.
They just didn't. They weren't real, bro. They were just some mushroom dreams.
They're all part of Curtis's virtual reality.
Oh yeah.
But I think like the happy ending. I'm glad it has a happy ending because even though Oliver is basically going to die, it's going to be nice to see the actual happy ending because I don't want a sad ending to my favorite show. I want that. Now we did get a new casting. For the flash forwards, which is
for a character that I don't care about, but we will still name anyway.
Charlie Barnett has been cast as John Diggle Jr.
Wow, no one cares because the flash forwards suck ass.
I mean, the thing is, I'd be more excited about this if it wasn't this character, because the thing is, I really don't like, even though we haven't seen this character yet in the future, I hate what they've done with it. Like, I said this in the review for episode 19 of 7. I hate the Deathstroke gang idea. It is stupid.
Oh, yeah.
It's ridiculous. So basically, obviously, what they said in season 7 is John Diggle Jr. went a bit off the rails. He's now the leader of the Deathstroke gang. Why is there a Deathstroke gang? Like, Deathstroke isn't a thing anymore. So why, 30 years in the future, would people even know about that? And the fact there's a gang surrounding it, I think it's ridiculous. Like, unless, Slade comes back at some point, which I highly doubt, and becomes Deathstroke again, which I highly doubt, because again, he's not on the Mirakuru anymore.
No.
And like,
why does this exist? Why?
I think it's ridiculous. And, again, we don't know why John Diggle Jr. is like that. Hopefully they'll establish that this season. But, it's obviously like this brother kind of rivalry where Connor was kind of like the good one and JJ was the bad one. And it's kind of like this irony because obviously Connor is the son of a criminal and JJ's not, kind of thing. I don't know if that's JJ in the trailer. Like, you see Connor...
No, it's not because you see the hair in the background and it's definitely not the actor. It's not. The hair's way too big. So unless he's wearing a wig, it's definitely not him. I think it's just one of the members of the Deathstroke gang, yeah. Renee-style wig, as in it's shockingly awful.
They actually mentioned that on the panel, which made me laugh.
Oh, I saw that bit, yeah.
Yeah, when they went to Rick Gonzalez, he was like, oh yeah, Renee and his wig was my favourite part of the season.
It was all our favourite parts of the season.
I was like, same, man, same. But yeah, I mean, I don't really know the actor, so I can't really comment on that. Apparently he was in Russian Doll, the new Netflix series, which was apparently really good. But I can't really speak to the actor, so...
Never seen it.
I'm just not looking forward to this character, honestly, because I hate the setup they've done.
Yeah.
But whatever. It could be good. It won't be, because the flash forwards aren't good, but whatever, we'll see. Now, the other big news, this isn't even related to Arrow, really. It's more related to Crisis, but this was awesome. Now, we learned, like, a couple of days before the panel that Brandon Routh was actually going to be reprising the role of Superman in the crossover.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Brandon Routh played Superman in Superman Returns, the 2006 film.
Which Declan has not seen, so he
I've
can't comment on.
No, I've not seen it. It seems really boring to me.
Honestly, it's not as bad as people make out to be. It's better than Man of Steel.
Damn. Well,
strong words.
Well,
Come at me, Snyder Bros. You stupid Snyder
I don't
Bros.
even think Man of Steel's that great, so whatever.
Exactly.
I own it on Blu-ray, so I'll give it a go at some point. I have the Superman collection, so I'll give it a go. But what we now learned in this panel is that they couldn't actually get him to play the Superman Returns Superman because they couldn't get the suit out of the Warner Brothers archives. So instead, Brandon Routh is going to be playing the Kingdom Come version of Superman. And I have to say, the way they revealed this was awesome. Obviously, him ripping open the shirt.
Oh, that was great, that was.
They couldn't have done that in a better way. And I have to say, I'm so happy that Brandon Routh is getting to do this, just because I even though I've not seen it, I can picture Brandon Routh as Superman. I can perfectly picture it.
Yeah.
And giving him the chance to play Superman again in this crossover, alongside Tyler Hoechlin, who is returning. We're going to have two Supermen in this crossover. The fact he's going to be playing Kingdom Come Superman is cool. Kingdom Come is a slightly older, slightly more grizzled version of Superman, who is kind of coping with Lois Lane's death. I believe she was killed by the Joker.
So basically, Injustice Superman, but not as cool.
Basically, yeah.
Oh.
He's also like he's a bit older as well.
Yeah.
So like, he has like grayish hair. So I wonder if they're gonna give Brandon Routh some awful hair extensions, which they tend to do on these shows.
Oh yeah.
But super cool. I think it's like just having Brandon Routh not only playing Ray Palmer in this crossover. Like Googie did say that. He said that he's not only going to be playing Ray, but he will be playing Superman as well. Yeah. Googie was on the panel. Beth wasn't on the panel though. That was weird. Why wasn't Beth on the panel? Granted, I love seeing James Bamford getting some love. But, like, why wasn't Beth there? Why was Googie there?
They better not turn around and say that Beth has now departed as main showrunner. And now, I've heard a rumour somewhere as well, apparently, that Mark Guggenheim is either back as an executive producer or is back as the showrunner. That's what I've heard.
Cry. I will actually cry.
I don't need this.
No. I will cry if that happens.
No.
Yeah, I found it strange. I mean, again, because it was weird, because it was James Bamford there. And again, I love seeing James Bamford getting some love, because, the BAM is awesome.
I reckon Beth was meant to be there, but she pulled out last minute and James Bamford went instead of in her place. I reckon that's what's happened.
Yeah. But it was cool, though, because we actually got some cool stories from him.
Yeah.
But anyway, love having Brandon Routh back as Superman. I think it's awesome. It was nice to have him on this panel, because obviously he did start on.
Yeah.
It was nice to have him here. It felt like appropriate, especially like that final bow that they did was like super cool. And again, having Brandon as part of that, I thought was nice.
Should have got Katie up there as well, Katie Lott.
Yeah, Katie Lott. She was there, wasn't she? She was at Comic.
Yeah, she was there. Yeah, she was at Comic Con because I saw her do interviews. So she was there. I'm just surprised they never brought her up on stage. Would have been nice.
She should have been there. Especially because if she's in Crisis, which I'm assuming she will be. I believe Dominic Purcell was there as well. I'm pretty sure I saw him.
Yeah. I think those three, Brandon Routh, Dominic Purcell, and Katie Lotz, they were all there from Legends.
Yeah. But anyway, that's pretty much all we learned from the Arrow panel. Again, we didn't get much. It was pretty much all about memories and all that. people asking questions and stuff.
No. We got news as well. Kate Cassidy's directing episode 3.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, we did get that.
She's getting directing episode 3, which I'm really happy for. Unlike all those Olicity bullshitters online who are like, why is she directing? Like, just go home, please. Shut the front door. Like, honestly, like, people would get mad.
The fan base in this place sometimes.
Yeah, honest, it's ridiculous. Because like, I see people complaining about it online. It's like, why doesn't Emily Bett get to do it? It's like, well, it's her choice, Yeah. They're not going to force her to direct an episode, are they, if she doesn't want to?
And she's not on the show anymore.
Exactly.
She's too busy on Broadway.
Yeah, they addressed that as well, didn't they? That apparently at the moment there's like no concrete plans, but they're still open to it. But they're still open to it. It's just dependent on her.
I put money on her being
in the finale. Yeah, the finale. Yeah, I definitely put money on her being in. And
the thing is, they're saying there's no concrete plans, but that's probably just because they haven't written the episode yet.
Yeah, they also said as well. I don't know if you caught this, but Stephen Amell basically said that because Arrow's having obviously 10 episodes.
Yeah.
That the crossover is going to be episode, I think 8 or 9 is what he said, and then episode 10 for Arrow will be its own separate entity.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it won't be a part of the crossover because they were asking about it. I can't remember which interview it was. It's on YouTube. It might have been either Entertainment Weekly or TV Line. But yeah, the interview, they asked Stephen about that, and he just said, that basically the final episode of Arrow, the series finale, it won't be a crossover episode. It will be its own thing. So he said, as far as he knows, the crossover for Arrow will be either episode 8 or 9. He just doesn't know because obviously the way they're filming it this year. Like, having it over 2 episodes, but they're airing, like, one in 2019 and one in 2020 for each. It's mega confusing. But basically, Arrow's series finale, not in the crossover.
I'm glad about that.
Yeah, which I'm happy about, because otherwise I feel like it would have just had way too much going on. Unless it would have been an extended episode, which would never have happened.
Yeah, no, I'm glad about that. Because that was one of my fears, is that the final ever episode would be the crossover. Because again, I mean, we've said this a couple times before, but I don't love the idea of Arrow being so crossover heavy this season. But if the series finale is its own separate thing, I'm glad about that. That needs to be there. Just because obviously, I mean, it does kind of hint that maybe Oliver will die in episode 9, and then we'll have episode 10 be like this big commemoration episode.
Yeah.
Which I'd be fine with, honestly. I think that's a fine ending, especially if we get like loads of returning characters. I mean, we already know that like obviously Tommy's coming back and Josh is coming back, and we know like it's officially confirmed this week as well that Susanna Thompson's coming back.
Yep.
As Moira in episode 1, which is great.
Brian McKinney's very happy about that news. Yeah,
my father will be very, very pleased. I'm a big Moira fan as well. We all love Moira, so it'd be nice to have her back. So yeah, I'm happy about that. I'm happy about that news. I'm trying to think if there's anything else for Arrow, because there has been like a few things that just kind of like dropped in and out. Like I know like, it's been confirmed that like Lois Lane's coming back for the crossover. That was announced. I think that's it though.
For like big news, as far as I know.
Big news, yeah. So yeah, that's basically it for Comic-Con. In regards to DCTV, obviously we had like other stuff going on at Comic-Con. Like we had Phase 4 of Marvel revealed, which was amazing. That was probably the biggest takeaway from
then we had the Top Gun Maverick, where we got to see Tom Cruise flying a jet because he's Tom Cruise.
Top Gun is honestly one of my favorite films of all time. Seeing Top Gun Maverick, I was like, oh my god. that was like such a big surprise because there was no hints of that coming.
No. Well, the thing is, like, it's still like over a year away, and we still already got the trailer for it.
It's summer 2020, and like literally, wasn't it after like the Terminator panel or something? Tom showed up.
Yeah, just out of nowhere.
Like, oh yeah, you want to see the trailer? And I was like, yeah. He's like, all right. He like full on pulled on like a Keanu Reeves.
Then check this out.
That's what I was expecting. I was expecting to go, check this out. But yeah, Keanu. Why can't they get him in the Arrowverse? That'd be amazing.
Yeah, get him in the Arrowverse to play someone. Who could Keanu Reeves play?
Lobo.
Oh, beautiful.
That actually just came to the top of my head. Very pleased with that. Yeah.
I'm taking this to Mark Guggenheim now.
Alternate Earth Green Arrow.
With an actual beard.
Yeah.
And a goatee.
But I think he hasn't got his beard at the moment, has he? Because he's filming Bill and Ted 3.
Oh, yeah.
That's the most disturbing thing
he looks so unnatural without. Honestly, he looks so much more sexier with the beard.
Yeah. There are some men who suit beards and who do not. Keanu, he needs the beard. He just needs the beard. These photos prove it. But anyway, that does draw this episode to a close. Like I say, a bit shorter, but we didn't really review. It was all just purely news. How long is this episode? You're recording this one. How long has this one been?
This episode currently has a total length of 49 minutes so far, which is very surprising.
Yeah, it's actually longer than I thought. But anyway, thank you guys for listening and joining us for this podcast. Make sure you leave all your thoughts about everything we learned at Comic-Con in the down below. Which season are you most excited for going into next season? Is it Supergirl, Flash, Arrow? Make sure you let us know in the comments down below. And as always, I've been Deck.
I have been Dan.
And we hope to see you guys again next time.
See ya.